Okay, we are live on YouTube. I'm just going to give people a couple of minutes to find us and to get settled in. Hope you're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this lovely Sunday morning, day 2 of the book festival. We had a lovely day yesterday. We had Steve and we had Vashti. Steve doing his adventure story.
We are live on YouTube. I'm just going to give people a couple of minutes.
There we go. Slight delay on YouTube, so suddenly you'll have heard my voice echoing in the background there. Yeah, so we're just about to get going. I'm just going to give you all a couple of minutes to get yourself settled. Have a nice drink, get yourself settled in for a story time. We've got a very special session for you today. We've had a lovely start to BookTastic yesterday. We're so grateful that we've had so much support from the authors and the illustrators and from the publishers and from you guys. We really thought that we were going to have to cancel this year because obviously the pandemic has meant that we can't get people in a room together. I'm just going to check that we are live properly. Let me see. Yes, it looks like we're live. Looks like we're all streaming. I'm just going to give people a couple more minutes. Yeah, we're nearly there. So yeah, day 2, what's it like out there from my bedroom? This is most of my things are happening now, my Zoom meetings, all of my events happening from my bedroom. We brought our NHS rainbow in to brighten up the room a little bit, because it's a bit boring, not very child friendly. Yeah, we're nearly good to go. Okay, I think we're about 11 o'clock, so I'm going to start doing my introduction while we just wait for everybody to come in. Day 2. So we had a great start. As I said yesterday, we had Steve Cole in the morning reading about Adventure Duck, which was very adventurous. And he also, as always, was extremely musical. We've had lots of great comments and great feedback from everybody about the songs he played on his ukulele. We also had Vashti Hardy, who was just incredibly inspiring, giving us lots of tips and lots of hints about what to do if you want to write your own story. So if you missed those and you want to go and check them out, you can see the videos on our YouTube channel. You can still go back and watch them now. We're really pleased that the pandemic hasn't put a stop to BookTastic this year. We really thought that was going to be it. And then where there's a will, there's a way. By the power of Zoom and YouTube, we've managed to bring all of these authors together and deliver some great events for you virtually. We've been really overwhelmed by the support, and thank you all so much for helping us to smash our 1,000 subscribers target. Keep following us, because we're going to have lots more to come in the next few weeks. And we're really pleased that this year we are fully accessible and we have live human captioning being provided by MyClearText. So that's fantastic, and that's something that we always want to do. We want to try and make sure that it's as accessible as possible for everybody. So day 2, even more amazing authors for you today, obviously starting with the wonderful David Litchfield in a couple of moments, followed by best-selling author and illustrator Harriet Muncaster, and ending the day with poet, playwright and best-selling author Kieran Millward Hargrave at 3 o'clock. So a quick bit of housekeeping. As you know, BookTastic is a not-for-profit organisation, and all of the revenue goes straight back into producing the festival every year. Obviously, this is being delivered free of charge. There's no paywall this year. So we're losing quite a lot of our funding for next year. If you feel that you would like to make a donation, you can do. We've got links that will be embedding into this, this chat, where you can just click on the link and make a donation if you'd like to, but you don't have to. It's completely free for everybody. It's enough from me anyway. I know you're all really excited to see today's first author. It's somebody very special to BookTastic, very special to Rogan's Books, very special to Bedford and the world. He's an award-winning author and illustrator. He's collaborated with some of the biggest names in literature, including David Armand. And he also happens to live right here in Bedford. He is our festival patron, and we are very, very lucky to have his support. His first book, The Bear and the Piano, won multiple awards, including the Waterstones Children's Book Prize. Since then, he's had a series of best-selling titles, including Grandad's Secret Giant, The Bear, the Piano, The Dog and the Fiddle, and collaborations with Ross Montgomery, Teresa Heapy, and Andy Stanton, to name just a few. And he's here today, by the wonders of modern technology, to celebrate his latest book, the beautiful Lights on Cotton Rock. If you're signed in, you're going to be able to post questions for David throughout the event. Just use the chat function. We'll get through as many as we possibly can. If there's anything you want to know, anything you'd like to share with David, we're going to be handing them over at the end. Do pop your names in, let us know where you are watching. We're going to be doing shout outs as well to let David know who's in the audience and where you're all watching from. Usually at the beginning, we'd love to give David a big round of applause to welcome him, but we can't do that virtually. But if you want to hit the like button, we can see how many of you are watching, and it'll be like giving David a little virtual round of applause. So what I'm going to do now is unmute David. Let me just see. I'm asking to start his video. Let's see if this is coming up. Let me try again. Yay! Morning both, hi.
Morning.
So without further ado, I'm going to go away because you don't want to see me, and I'm going to hand you over to the wonderful Dave.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello from space. Am I on live? I guess I am. Hi, I'm David Litchfield. This is Benjamin Litchfield, and yet we are actually in space. Can you believe it? Anyway, this is going to be such a cool event. What we plan to do today is a number of things. First of all, as Rachel, the lovely Rachel Rogan just said, we are going to read my latest book, Lights on Cotton Rock, which is a book that I'm very proud of, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I made the book and why I made the book and all the things that go into making that book. I also might do some drawing for you. I like doing drawing. I'm just noticing my cool glasses. Look at that. They look really kind of spacey, very, very science fiction-y, which is pretty cool. I don't know why they're doing that, but anyway, it looks cool, so I'll live with it. So yeah, I'm going to talk to you a bit about that, do a bit of drawing, and then a few other surprises. We're going to have a great time, aren't we, Ben? Ben is here for a very special reason, which I will get into in a moment. But first of all, I'm going to read the book, and you're going to help me, aren't you? He is going to help me. Lights on Cotton Rock, everyone, by David Litchfield, which is me. Sorry, Ben, you're not going to be able to be seen for a while. There you are. Hello. 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 Is everyone sitting comfortably out there? Awesome. Are you sitting comfortably? Perfect. When Heather was a little girl, she snuck away from home and ran into the woods. Look, there she is, running from home into the woods. Soon she arrived at a place called Cotton Rock. Heather sat in the darkness and shone her torch up into the night sky. Where's a torch? Let's pretend this is my torch. Into the night sky where the stars sparkled with magic and wonder. She was hoping that someone out there would see her light. You see, Heather had read all about outer space and how sometimes aliens came down to Earth and took people away in their spaceships. She wanted more than anything to leave Earth behind and go and live amongst the stars. So she flashed her torch off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. Whoa, look at that. Now, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there are no words on this page. So I'm going to need some help with this bit. So maybe you can help at home. But what noise do you think an alien spaceship would make when it came down to Earth? Let's make a noise after 3. You ready? Hopefully I'm going to hear some of you outside my windows. But let's go after 3. 1, 2, 3. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Can you do it, Ben? Wow, okay, that's not too bad. This is what I think it would make. All of those are awesome. Well done. Okay, now there's no words on the next pages either, so we need a little bit of help here. So the alien spaceship has landed, and Heather looks like this. What noise do you think she's making here, Ben? Oh my goodness, she's so shocked. And look, out of the UFO steps an alien, and the alien goes like that. And what noise do you think the alien makes when it goes like that? That's how an alien says hello. Anyway, they sit. The alien comes down from his spaceship, and the alien and Heather sit together on Cotton Rock, and they have a little chat. But obviously, they speak different languages. So the alien points up to the sky. What do you think he's pointing to the sky for? What's he saying?
Stars.
Stars. I come from the stars. I come from up there. That's my home. And Heather shows him some of her home. He shows the alien a leaf with a little ladybird on it. She draws him a picture of her house, which is literally her home. And then the alien says to Heather, let's go and have a look at my spaceship. So they go on the spaceship, and Heather makes this face. Look. What noise does she make when she's shocked? She's shocked again. Look at that. And then while they're on the spaceship, they look out the window. They look at all the controls. The alien does a little bit of space magic there. Look, showing us some tricks. And then Heather is having such a great time. She takes out her drawing pad and her drawing pencils, and she starts to draw the alien, a very special drawing. And this is what she draws. It's a picture of her and her new best friend. Heather was having so much fun with her new friend, but then she noticed something on the computer screens. It was her family searching for her in the woods. Heather ran from the spaceship shouting, "See you soon." Her parents were so relieved to see her that they forgot to be angry that she had run away. They didn't even see the spaceship or hear it take off. What noise does a spaceship make when it takes off? That's perfect. Perfect noise. Time passed, as time does. Heather returned to Cotton Rock again and again. Anytime she felt sad, angry, alone, she would sit at the rock, hoping that the alien would come back and take her away. Over the years, Heather tried all kinds of new ways to get the alien's attention. She tried radio waves, electricity signals, lights, sounds, but the spaceship didn't return. When Heather was a grown-up, she went back to Cotton Rock. She sat there all night until the morning sun began to pour through the trees, but the spaceship still didn't appear. Just as she was about to give up, she heard a worried little voice say, "Mum." And look, her son had come to find her. Heather's now a mum, and her son has come to find her in the woods. And she looks really sad. So what he does when he sees his mum is he puts some of her equipment on his head. Why do you think he's doing that, Ben? Trying to make her laugh, trying to make her smile. And it works. Look, she starts to cheer up. So he has more fun with the equipment, pretending he's looking up in space, listening to the radio waves, and using the torch to stare up into space with his mum. They sit together and they draw pictures of aliens. Now, Heather's actually seen an alien, so she knows what one looks like. But her son's never seen one, so he draws like a really cool, weird, scary looking one. They read some books about aliens while they're still in the forest, and they get very cozy until Heather starts to yawn and get tired. And her son, Tommy, goes, "Grrr." So he's getting really hungry. So Heather says, "Let's go home." And they leave Cotton Rock together. More time passed. Heather came back to Cotton Rock less and less now, But every once in a while, she would sit on that same spot and wonder if her alien friend was nearby. When Heather was an old lady, she had nearly lost hope, as people do, but she still liked to sit on Cotton Rock and shine her torch up into the sky. She turned it off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on, off and... Let's have that UFO noise again, Ben. Are you doing it back there as well? Let's hear. Whoa! The alien came back. And look, there is the alien. And there's Heather. She's shocked again. What noise does she make when she's shocked? And there's the alien. He's waving. How does the alien say hello? Perfect. The alien comes down and they once again sit on Cotton Rock. And check this out. The alien has kept Heather's drawing all that time. And he shows it to Heather. And she's so happy. And the alien says, let's go back onto the spaceship. And that's exactly what they do. But this time, the spaceship takes off and they fly into space. And Heather cannot believe how cool this all is. The alien puts the picture back on the wall and then makes Heather a nice cup of tea just to make her feel at home. And she has a sip and she feels really happy and really contented. And then the alien says to her, go and have a look outside the window. So she does just that. And she looks out into space and this is what she sees. All of Heather's dreams had finally come true. But as she saw Earth getting further and further away, shimmering blue and green in the darkness, she suddenly realized what she was leaving behind. She told her friend that she had to go back, but the alien didn't understand. Wasn't this what Heather has always wanted? There was only one way Heather could explain. She started to draw the alien a brand new picture. And this is what she draws the alien this time. It's a lovely picture of not just her family, but also her home and all the things that make her home special and all the things that are special on planet Earth, like nature and life. My family will be looking for me, she explained. The alien understood immediately, and the spaceship turned around and went back to Cotton Rock, where yet her family are waiting for her and looking for her. And look, there she is, she's landed. Heather would never forget her friend or the time they had spent together. But it had taken a trip to the stars for her to realize that the magic and the wonder she had been trying to find had been on Earth all along. The end. Yay! Well done everyone. Some fantastic sound effects from people. I could hear you all the way from your homes to my home here in Bedford. So that was amazing. Thank you very much. So this was my book, Lights on Cotton Rock. It was my fourth book that I have both written and illustrated. So I came up with the story and also did all the drawings as well, which was a great thing to do. It's one of my favorite books I've ever made. And it's one of my favorites for a number of reasons. One of them is because when I was growing up, when I was about, how old are you, Ben? 8. You're nearly 8, aren't you? You're 8 Ben's 8 in about a week. But yeah, when I was like 7 or 8, one of my favorite things to do was we would go around my nan's house every Saturday, me and my older brother and sister, and we would close the curtains and make it really dark and make it look like a cinema, because my nan was the only person at that time who had, hardly anyone is going to know what this is, but a VHS player, which is basically an old version of a Blu-ray player. and we would watch films on the VHS player. And some of the films we watched were, some of my favorite all-time films were Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and one called Flight of the Navigator. And all these films, for those of you who haven't seen it, or seen any of them, are all like about space and aliens, and they're called science fiction films. And one of my all-time favorite absolute films ever was one of the films that I saw around my nan's house, and it's called E.T., which maybe some of you have seen. Anyway, I loved these films growing up, and I still love them today. And when I was given the opportunity to make my own science fiction space aliens book, I jumped at the chance, and I tried to include as many of those films and the influences they had on me in this book. So that's one reason why it is one of my favorite favorite books. Also, it's one of my favorites because I really like the message of it, how it's you know, it's about the importance of appreciating what you have in life and what surrounds you, and how we can all kind of look to the future, which is all fantastic, and looking at kind of where we want to be in life. But sometimes it's good to just look at what you have, and how you can appreciate the things and the people that are around you. I also love this book because I had some very special help on this book, actually. So even though it's got my name there, David Litchfield, I didn't actually draw all of the pictures in this book. I had some very, very kind people help me. So for example, one of the pictures in this book, where is it? It's when Heather goes on the spaceship and she meets her new friend, and she draws her new friend a lovely picture. I didn't actually draw that picture. This was drawn by someone else. Can anyone guess who this was drawn by? Any ideas? Interesting. Oh, that's, yeah, interesting idea. Okay. A lot of you have got the right answer, but it was actually drawn by Benny, my son. So Benny is a fantastic artist, as you can see. So I asked him to help me draw this book for a number of reasons. One reason being, as I just said, Benny is a great artist and he's becoming a fantastic illustrator. But also, the actual story is about Heather, who is a 6/7-year-old person. And I thought, well, I live with a 6 and 7-year-old, or you were 7 at the time, right? No, you were 6 at the time. So I live with a 6-year-old who can draw, so I'm going to get him to draw this picture. So he was playing the part of Heather when he drew that picture. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? What's it like to have your picture in a published book that's gone all around the world? Pretty good. But the other thing was, I also got some help a bit later on in the book. And in fact, Benny's pictures do appear quite a lot through this book, actually, don't they? You drew this alien, right? That Heather's son draws. That was your drawing as well, right? And a few others, like the house and so forth. But towards the end, when Heather is an old lady, there's this picture here, which, again, this drawing here. I didn't actually draw that. Can anyone guess who drew that? Who do you think out of people I know drew that? Interesting. Ah, okay, interesting. This one was actually drawn by my mum. My mum, Beryl Litchfield, drew this picture. Because in the book, around about this time, Heather is, I won't say her exact age, but she's a lady of advancing years. And I thought, who do I know? Do I know a lady of advancing years? And I know a few, and one of them being my mum, who is also a very good illustrator and drawer of things. So I got her to do it. So this book is really a family affair when it comes to making books, and it's something that I'm very proud of. So that's another reason why I absolutely love this book. In fact, I think it is one of my favorites that I've done so far. Okay, so moving on. I just want to do something very quickly because we've seen my son's drawing an alien, we've seen my drawing an alien, and I want to just go through some drawings of aliens, because drawing aliens, it turns out, is one of my lifelong hobbies. I love drawing aliens. I love coming up with aliens, and I've been doing that ever since I was very young, but you know, young as Benny, or even younger maybe. Drawing aliens, and especially drawing this book, I had to look at different ways of drawing an alien. I'll show you first of all how I draw an alien, how I draw the alien from lights on cotton rock. So, Benny, did you have breakfast this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did you have breakfast this morning? Anyone out there have breakfast? Okay, hands up if you had breakfast. Great, okay, have you got your hands up? Okay. Hands up if you had cereal. Did you not have cereal? Oh, I had cereal. I'm gonna keep my hand up. Hands up if you ate your cereal with a spoon. I ate my cereal with a spoon. Now that's important because I'm gonna start my drawing like this. I'm gonna draw. Can we all see that? A spoon, kind of a spoon. And then I'm going to add to my spoon, I'm going to add this shape. Give it a little shading there. Yeah. Then I'm going to give it a little couple of eyes. There we go. Little mouth. And give it some hands. Strange little alien hands. There we go. And his body. Oh, he's got his little cool sci-fi necklace thing there. And then let's give him a flowing cape. There we go. There is how I draw, kind of, the alien from Lights on Cotton Rock. And it all started with a spoon, because believe it or not, and you don't have to believe this because it may or may not be true, but when I was eating my breakfast one day, I looked at my spoon, and as of course anyone would, I thought, this looks exactly like an alien. Well, that's what I thought. So that's how I came up with Mr. Spoon. Now, as I said, drawing aliens is one of my funnest things to do. Let me just stick this up here. I'm proud of that alien. Let's put Mr. Spoon there. Where we go. Drawing aliens is fantastic. Now, another question for you all out there, and I will try and hear as many as possible, but hands up or shout out if you have ever seen an alien in real life. Oh, wow, okay, okay. Have you ever seen an alien in real life?
No.
No. See, I haven't seen an alien in real life, and not many people have. In fact, I don't know if anyone really has, and maybe some of you have that I didn't quite hear, but most people I don't think have ever seen an alien in real life, which is actually a brilliant thing for someone like me and creative people and illustrators and artists, because if you've never seen anything in real life, that means there's no rules as to what your alien could look like. So for example, if you were to ask most people to draw an alien, most people would draw something like this. Oh, maybe with a pen that's not running out. 1 minute. Yeah, they'll draw that shape, and then maybe some kind of crazy pointy eyes like that. Maybe sometimes with a mouth. Yeah. They might draw something along those lines. Let's give them a little hand. Yeah, which is a perfectly good alien. But that's what most people say, draw when I say draw me an alien. However, because we don't know what an alien really looks like, you could also draw an alien like this. I'm not even looking. Maybe add a little bit of detail. So, give a little face, maybe some legs. Again, let's have him wave. So that could be our alien. Put this up on the board. I'm quite proud of that alien. Excuse me, Mr. Spoon. There you go, you got company. Okay, now, one more attempt at drawing an alien. Ben, I need your assistance. Can you put your hands like that? Spread out your fingers. Right, don't move. Oh, a lovely squeaky pen. Okay, Now we have a hand. And what I'm going to do, shouldn't do that, that's a very bad habit to do, is I'm going to give this hand some feet. Oh, I love that squeaky pen. Give that hand some feet. There we go. I'm also going to give it a space helmet up here. Yeah. And again, give it a little face like that. And then I'm going to give this some claws. In fact, he's got 4 arms. And then let's give him some trousers. Just give it a little ground. Maybe some plants coming out of there. There we go. Look at that. That could be our space alien. In fact, let's give it even more detail. There we go. Another space alien. Right, last one, because I'm having so much fun. Are you having fun? Good. Hands on there, flat. Oh, that's a bit tricky. Maybe try that one. There we go. Okay, one more. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, this one's gonna look cool. Look at that. There's his helmet. Can you see that? And then let's turn this one into a claw. And then give it some boots here. Look at that. That is one cool alien. There we go. So the best thing about aliens is that there are no rules, and drawing aliens is so much fun, or at least that's why I find it so much fun. So what I challenge you to do, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, out there in the world, is to make up your very own alien. Draw your own alien, see what you come up with, and you can start from something as simple as a spoon, or you can start from something as simple as any object that you can see in your house right now, or it could even be your hand, or it could just be something completely new, completely different, that you come up with off the top of your head. Because drawing aliens is so much fun, and it's one of the funnest things I have ever done, and I hope I get to make another alien book soon. Hope I get to make another book like Lights on Cotton Rock, because you can just let your imagination run completely wild. Okay, how are we doing for time? Wow, okay, so that was Lights on Cotton Rock. I do hope that you all enjoyed reading it. Now, I think I've got a little bit more time, so if you would like, I think I can read you another one of my books, which I know a lot of boys and girls really like, because I get so many lovely letters about it, and so many lovely tweets and all sorts of things from your parents about The Bear and the Piano. But yeah, I was going to read The Bear and the Piano, and I think, although I could be wrong, I think I might have a very special guest who can help me read this book to the lovely boys and girls. Is there a special guest that I can call on to help me read this book? Oh my goodness. Who's that? Hi. That is Rebecca, who is actually a real life bear who can play the piano. Hey, who is going to help me as I read this book. Let's give it a go. We haven't actually practiced this on Zoom, but we have done it before in real life. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this ends up. Mrs. Bear,
yeah,
are you ready? And I'll begin. Okay, this is The Bear and the Piano, which was my first ever book. I had never made a book before. I'd made this one. And when this is about 5 years old. In fact, it's nearly exactly 5 years old, this book. So it's probably getting a bit old now. But I'm going to read it to you again. The Bear and the Piano by David Litchfield. Are you ready, Ben? Cool. One day in the forest, a young bear cub found something he'd never seen before. What could this strange thing be, he thought, and shyly he touched it with his stubby paws. Plonk! The strange thing made an awful sound. But the next day, the bear came back. Missed a bit out on my book. So the bear left, But the next day, the bear came back. And the day after that too. And for days and weeks and months and years, until eventually wow. The sounds that came from the strange thing were now beautiful. And the bear had grown big and strong and grisly. Urgh. When the bear played, he felt so happy. The sounds took him away from the forest, and he dreamed of strange and wonderful lands. It wasn't long before the other bears in the forest were drawn to the clearing. Every night, a crowd gathered to listen to the magical melodies coming from the bear and the strange thing. Then, one night, a girl and her father came across the clearing. They told the bear that the strange thing was actually a piano, and the sounds that it made were music. Come to the city with us, they said. There's lots of music there. You can play grand pianos in front of hundreds of people and hear sounds so beautiful they will make your fur stand on end. The bear knew that if he left the forest, the other bears would miss him very much. But he longed to explore the world beyond the woods, to hear more wonderful music and play better than ever before. And before long, the bear's name was up in big bright lights in the big bright city. Take it away, Rebecca. Lovely. The bear played sold-out concerts in giant theatres. Every night he performed with such passion and such grace to wild applause and standing ovations and huge admiration. The bear recorded albums that went platinum. He was interviewed for magazines. He won awards. He met new people every day and created headlines everywhere that he went. Go for it, Rebecca. The city was everything he'd hoped it would be. But deep down, something tugged at the bear's heart. He had fame and awards and all of the music in the world. But he missed the forest. He missed his old friends. He missed his home. So the bear decided to go back. He speedily crossed the river and excitedly bounded into the forest. He couldn't wait to tell his friends about his time in the city. But when the bear reached the familiar clearing, it was empty. No piano, no bears, no anything. The bear started to worry that his friends had forgotten him, or that they were angry that he had left them behind. Then a friend stepped into the clearing. "Hello," cried the bear. "I'm back. I've missed you so much." Without saying a word, the grey bear ran back in to the forest. "Wait," called the bear. "I'm sorry I left. Please stop." But his friend just kept running. One minute. George, come here. We've got an intruder. 1 second. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Rebecca. Little bear wanted to join us. Gonna say hello. Right, I'm gonna finish the story now. Okay, look, Rebecca's playing piano. How cool is that? Right. You're gonna disappear again for a minute. Look, there you go. You and Ben. Whoop, whoop. So, without saying a word, the grey bear ran back into the forest. "I'm sorry I left. Please stop." But his friend just kept running. The bear stumbled after him, moving deeper and deeper into the forest, until he saw something that made his fur stand on end. Go for it, Rebecca. For the bear had not been forgotten. His friends weren't angry, but proud. The bear realized that no matter where he went or what he did, they would always be there watching from afar. They had even kept the piano safe in the shade, ready for his return. 1 second. So, after the bear had told his friends about his life in the city and the many concerts he had played, he sat down to play once more. This time for the most important audience of all, the Wow. Yay. Well done, Rebecca. Round of applause, please, for Rebecca. Woo. Very good. Thank you very much, everyone. That was amazing. And thank you, Rebecca. That's Rebecca De Winter, who is a fantastic pianist and singer-songwriter and plays all these great concerts with these cool bands. And I got to dress up as a bear live on the internet, which is, you know, what a trooper. Okay, thank you very much, everyone who logged in and took part. I can't wait to read your questions, and hopefully I'll be able to answer as many as I possibly can. But thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed yourselves.
Thanks, David. That was amazing. Oh, wow. And thank you, Benny and George. You guys were great. And thanks, Rebecca. We've had such an incredible response with questions.
Oh,
so before we take ourselves off air, I'm just going to give you some of the feedback we've had. Yep. Moon Lane Children's Books and Toys say good morning.
Morning.
Katie says hi. Charlie and Rose would like to each ask David, what is your next book and how long does each book take you?
Interesting. Okay, well, my next book is actually, where is it? I've got a sneak peek here, actually. So it's going to be, so obviously, I just read The Bear and the Piano. So I do also have The Bear, the Piano, the Dog and the Fiddle, which was the sequel to the book, which came out a couple of years ago. But excitingly, my next book, which is out in September, and I've only got the proofs of this. I haven't actually got the finished book. That's how much of a new thing this is this one. The Bear, the Piano and Little Bears concert, which is the third story of the Bear and the Piano book. So that one will be out in September. And I'm so pleased with it. I'm like super proud of it. It takes the story in a completely different angle, and it's unfortunately going to be the last of the Bear and the Piano books. I want them just to be free books. So yeah, that one's coming out at the end of this year.
So that's really interesting, because one of the questions that we had, if I can find it, was from Helen in Bedford. He said, had you always had in mind the 3 Bear and the Piano series, or did they evolve after the success of the first?
They evolved, to be honest. So the Bear and the Piano came out, and like I was as shocked as anyone at how sort of successful it was. And so the publisher kind of said, "Oh, do you think maybe you could do another one?" And they were like, no pressure at all, because you know the first one is a very nice self-contained story as it is. And I think sometimes with sort of sequels, you can kind of, you know, that can kind of dampen the first one. So I did the second one, and I wanted to make that a completely different story. So I based it on these other characters called Hector and Hugo. And Hugo's a little dog who learns to play the violin and then joins Bear's band sort of halfway through the book. So it was a very different book. And so I wanted to do it that way, but the third book, we go back to the forest. So the third book, in a funny way, is more of a sequel than the second book. But no, it was never a plan to do it, but I'm really pleased because they just work together so well, the 3 books, in following this kind of journey of this bear, but from kind of interesting angles, I guess.
Yeah, oh, amazing. We have school songs from Annie Bird Music. Good morning from Philadelphia.
Wow, oh, Annie, hello.
That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Annie is actually, she's a very lovely lady who I've never met, but on Twitter, she's very supportive, and she does some amazing things. Like she writes her own songs for picture books. So she will she'll find a picture book and write a song for it, but she also comes up with her own ideas and stuff. So she's amazing. Thank you. Hello, Annie.
Oh, that's incredible.
She got up very early. She must have got up very early to join us.
Must have done, because if it was 11 o'clock here, blimey. Yeah.
She's a trooper.
Yeah. Some more shout outs from Claire. Hi, David. Sophie, Alex, and Jessica from Bedford are here.
Hello.
Fran says good morning from Samuel and BB.
Hi, Samuel and BB.
Let's have a look. We've got George and Katie were watching as well, obviously, and we've got a nice little cameo from George. So Moon Lane and Children's Books and Toys are in Ramsgate. So we've got hi Benny from Owen and Bobby.
Hey.
Finley says hi to David and Benny.
Hi.
Hello from Jessica and William.
Wow, lots of people.
We've got a hello from Alice, age 5. Where do you get the ideas for the book?
Oh, that is a very good question. So
we saw the spoon for the alien.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they come from all over the place, really. So it's important as an illustrator. One of the most important things that I own is my sketchbooks. Let's see, what sketchbooks have I got here? So this is my current sketchbook, which has got all kind of new ideas and stuff in it. Here's another sketchbook. I like to stick lots of stickers on my sketchbooks and make them look as cool as possible. But this was my sketchbook that I had when I came up with the idea for the Bear and the Piano, actually. I do have hundreds of these things, but most of them are stuck in my studio, which is kind of on lockdown, so I can't get them. But I've got this one. Which I don't just show anyone, because a lot of these drawings in these sketchbooks are like really terrible, which is kind of the point, I guess, of a sketchbook, because it's like I just kind of draw over and over again and don't really sometimes think about what I'm drawing in my sketchbook. I'll just doodle. I'll just like draw whatever's, not even what comes to my mind, but just like what happens. Like sometimes I'll draw stuff and go, why did I draw that? I have no idea why I drew that or what I've drawn. So for example,
Vashti Hardy was saying this yesterday. She has her writing journal, and it's just an opportunity to put things in.
Totally. Totally. And I try and have my sketchbook, which is also a notebook. Like I will, I'll write stories in there, but it's mainly for drawing. But I'll have my sketchbook with me wherever I go, or try to at least, so that if I'm on a bus or something and I have an idea, or I just want to sketch and stuff, or on a train, or it's important to have it with you. But also it's good to have something like when you wake up, because some of the best ideas come to you when you're like either like half asleep or just about to go to sleep, or when you just wake up, or you have an incredible dream or something. So yeah, this is my sketchbook from the Bear and the Piano. So yeah, it's got kind of weird drawings in there. Like I don't know what these two with the giant noses have been doing, but they're kind of, that's one of them. There's a house with a moustache. Look at that. I don't know what that drawing is. But anyway, one day, a few years ago now, I was just doodling in my sketchbook. In fact, it was 2014. So what's that, 6 years ago? And I was just doodling, just not really thinking about what I was drawing. And I drew this picture here, which is a really kind of scruffy, scary looking weird bear playing a piano. And after I drew it, I looked at it and I was like, that's interesting. I've never seen a bear playing a piano. I've never had in real life, at least. And then I started to think about, you know, what is the story behind this drawing? Like, how did this bear learn to play the piano? What kind of adventures did it go on with its new talent and that kind of stuff? So it all came from this sketch, really. Wow. And that's where most of my ideas come from, is from sketching in my sketchbook. And it's just amazing, really, that one day I was like bored sitting on my sofa, and my wife was probably watching EastEnders or something, and I was just like incredibly bored. And I just decided to draw this. And now this book has kind of gone all around the world, and boys and girls are reading it in like China and America and France and all over the place. And it's all because of this one sketch.
And it's amazing how you think that the big things that you plan and the big things you plot are going to be the big things. And quite often the absolute opposite. It's a little completely insignificant thing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it can just build and build and build and turn into something huge, which is fantastic.
Helen asks, do you prefer the illustration or the writing part of creating the books?
Oh, well, I am definitely an illustrator first. Like, that's what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to draw. And in fact, it feels weird that people call me an author. Like, I still haven't got used to being called author David Litchfield. So no, drawing I find so much easier. And in fact, I sort of plan it all out drawing wise first. Like, I'll sketch it all out and kind of almost come up with a story through the drawings as well, like storyboarding it. And the actual getting the text and getting the written part as good as it can be is very much the last thing I do. I try and leave that to the very end. So yeah, I'll come up with an idea, and I'll do a few kind of bullet points, but then I will sort of sketch it all out first, because that's just what I find easier to do. Yeah.
How do you feel about all the celebrities that have read your books on CBeebies and elsewhere?
Oh, it's mad, isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't generally find out about it. So the guy from Take That, oh, I've forgotten his name, but anyway, someone from Take That. Howard, of course. Yeah. Like, I was just at the park with Benny and George, and all of a sudden my phone was just like going crazy. And I looked at it and I was like, I'm having a really nice time with my boys. I'm not going to pay too much attention to what's going on in my phone. And then when I got home, it was like literally hundreds of tweets from these sort of, I don't know, middle-aged women who had like been tagging me in their tweets to Howard about, oh, I love the Bear and the Piano, because he just read it. Like, he just read the book online and stuff. Amazing. But no, I think, I don't know, it seems to, during the lockdown, which is obviously a horrendous time of our lives, or a time that we're kind of, you know, we're doing our best to get through, I think that book has just sort of touched a nerve, because it's kind of, you know, it's about kind of being able to leave where you're from and kind of explore the world and stuff, which at the moment we can't do. So I think it kind of helps people realize that we will be able to do that again at some point. You'll be able to leave your forest and see the wider world, and then come back to the forest hopefully as well, and see your family and stuff. So, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And Olaf read it from Frozen. I can believe it. So cool.
Amazing. Okay,
really freaking me out. Look at my glasses. I look like I'm from Star Trek.
It's all adding to the space.
Yeah, exactly. It's done on purpose.
A really important question here. In the book, when we get the cup of tea, do aliens put the milk in first?
I think if they did put the milk in first, they come from a very unusual sort of back to front world.
Agreed.
That's what I know that's probably one of the most controversial things I've ever said, but I'm going to say the alien has got it very wrong. If
putting the milk in first, or the big debate seems to be at the moment whether you put jam or cream first on your scone.
Wow.
Doing the rounds. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I would say jam on that case.
Yeah. Some people are saying that cream is like posh butter, so you have to put the cream on first. It seems to be dividing the nation, frankly. It's yeah.
That's a crazy one.
Right. This is a great question because I think I'm going to know the answer to it, but I think it's an important one for everybody to hear. How did you get so good at drawing?
So it's like, I don't know, really. It's well similar to the bear, I guess, in the Bear and the Piano, where he starts off terrible and it's just making that horrible plonky noise, but he really knows that there's something inside him that wants to do it, and he goes back to the piano and just teaches himself and tries hard and doesn't get frustrated, and you know, sometimes if you want to learn a skill, it's going to take a long time. You're not going to be the master of it straight away. And that was very much the same when we were drawing. It's like I grew up reading these amazing comics and like Steve Ditko and all these amazing comic artists that work for Marvel, and Albert Uderzo, who did the Asterix books and so forth, or Uderzo, it depends how you pronounce it. Drawing all these or seeing these, I really admired them, and I knew I wanted to do something like that, but I had to really teach myself how to draw. And obviously had some great art teachers through school and so forth giving me guidance and stuff, but it is just a case of just practice and practice and practice and keep going, and you know, try not to get frustrated. Some drawings will be good, some drawings will be bad, you know, and sometimes you can learn more from the bad drawings than the good, all those kind of things. But I'm still learning. Like every time I draw, I'm worried that it's not good enough, or I need to be better and stuff. And you know, it's a lifelong learning experience is being an illustrator, and doing anything creative, I think, is a lifelong learning experience. Absolutely.
God, we have so many questions. We're never going to get through them all. I'm going to do a few quick shout outs. To say hello from Eleanor and Matilda in Bedford. Loving feelings. Eleanor is drawing whilst listening to you.
Oh wow, cool. Show me. Can we post them to the BookTastic Facebook page?
Oh, that would be amazing. If you've done some draw alongs, can you put them on Twitter tag them in on Twitter and put them on the Facebook page? That'd be fantastic.
If anyone's drawing the aliens, I'd love to see your aliens. That'd be cool. Or whatever you've drawn.
Everybody has just so much love for the music, for the piano. Everybody's lots of love for Rebecca here.
She's very talented. She's a very talented girl. Do you know what? Me and Rebecca were in a band about 10 years ago, and we were like really cool. We were like this kind of cool indie folk band with Jack, and we were like really edgy and cool. And if I'd have told her 10 years ago that in 10 years time, I'm going to make you dress up as a bear in a bear onesie, and you're going to go on the internet where anyone in the world can see you, I don't think she'd have believed me. But I think in many ways that's cooler than what we were.
Yeah,
I think
totally
that's
cool. Totally cool.
She's great as Rebecca.
We've got a hello from Barnes Children Literature Festival.
Hey, hello. Oh, hello. I was supposed to be at Barnes quite soon, but hopefully next year it can be rearranged.
Yeah, definitely.
It's such a great festival.
Let's do a couple more because we've got so many here, and what I might do is try and get a screen grab of them. So any that we don't manage to get through, I'll pass them on to David. But there's a copy of this out in Australia.
Yay!
I'm going to do the last one. What was your favourite story growing up, and did you have any artist inspirations?
Yes. It's like, I think the BFG is my all-time favorite book. I come back to that book a lot. I just love it so much, and it sort of showed me that there's, you know, the imagination can do so many things, like how Roald Dahl kind of came up with these stories and stuff out of nothing, out of thin air, really kind of blew my mind. But also Quentin Blake's art in those books, they're so simplistic, and they just convey so much character through kind of very simplistic lines, and that was a real eye-opener as well. So yeah, that book as a package is like one of my all-time favorites. But the Asterix books and Uderzo and Goscinny, who created them, are like legends and stuff. And I think that is kind of how I learned to draw, was kind of copying those characters and copying those scenes. There was just incredible artwork that went into those books, and I collected them all when I was growing up, and used to get them from the library and then go and save up money and buy them and stuff. And I just love them, and there was something very otherworldly about the Asterix books because they're from France, which, you know, at that time in the mysterious world of the 1980s when I was growing up, and 90s and whatnot, France was like another world, and like having these books that came from France with these very kind of French characteristics was a brilliant thing, and I still love them today. So yeah, I think those books in particular are the ones that really inspired me. And also Where the Wild Things Are, if we're talking about picture books, Where the Wild Things Are, again, like one, you know, an incredibly kind of, well, not simplistic artwork, but like in terms of story, you know, a very kind of simplistic story, but it just kind of says so much. And the older I get, the more it says to me with that book. Actually, it's a great book.
It's incredible. Oh, David, thank you so much. I tell you, when you were talking about your inspiration with the films, and I could see so much of Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Flight the Navigator, and that I love Lights on Cotton Rock. I'm a big sci-fi fan anyway, so it's great to have a kids book, and it's so beautiful. I get so many comments from people talking about the way you've created light in that book and just how gorgeous it is.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for taking time out on your Sunday morning, and to you too, Benny, and to George, wherever he's gone, and for his wonderful musical interlude. Don't forget, you can, if you've missed this from the beginning live, you can watch it again on our YouTube channel afterwards. Thank you so much to David and to everybody who's been watching with us. Thank you to Rebecca for joining us as well. We'll be back this afternoon at 1:30 with Harriet Muncaster, who is the creator of Isadora Moon, and then at 3 o'clock with Kieran Millwood Hargrave to talk about her book, The Mercies. Thank you, everybody. We will see you again later on. Bye.
Bye.